I'm chairman of the board of the school, Bill Turner. On behalf of the school, I'd like to welcome everybody who's here. We have trustees, we've got press, we have faculty, staff, we have an honored guest. And I can tell you how excited I am to have the most important person, Marcheta Evans.
Yes.
Welcome. Now, I was given a script, and I'll get in a lot of trouble if I go off it too much, but I'm going to go off it a little bit anyway. I want you to know, Marcheta we had a very robust search to find the new president, and everybody was involved with it. But I want you to know, at the end of the day, she was our unanimous choice. She was, and we are so excited to have her here. And they're a great team, and we welcome you to our school and your school now. Today, we're honored to have Congressman Payne with us, who has been a great supporter of our college. They gave me a list of all the things you've done, and I don't know if I can dare do all of that. You're chairman of the House Homeland Security, you're a member of the Committee on Transportation, but much more important to us is the support you've given to the school. Back in 2015, we received a $3 million grant from the Department of Education to promote college services in African American students. Thanks to Congressman Payne. Without him, we would not have. You understand our mission, and you're a great friend of the school. And without further ado, I want to welcome Congressman Payne to the vote. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Apologize for being a bit tardy. Duty calls, though. I am the father of 20-year-old triplets. They are going into their senior year. And next year I might buy a pair of shoes and a car. So, it's really an honor to be here. And this is the 10th Congressional District, which I represent, and this wonderful institution of learning sits in my district, and it's a privilege for me to represent some of New Jersey's best institutions for higher learning. And for nearly 150 years, Bloomfield College has been a leader in this community. It is one of New Jersey's best private colleges, and I'm proud to say it's one of the state's most diverse. During its long history, Bloomfield College has evolved to meet this community's educational needs. And at the turn of the 20th century, the school began granting bachelor degrees, Bachelor of Arts degrees. A few years ago, it was just mentioned, I was here to celebrate a receipt of predominantly black institutions grant to expand science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities for African American and higher need students. And today I'm here for another milestone, the welcoming of Bloomfield College's first African American and first female president, Dr. Marcheta Evans. And then reading over the information provided for me about her, Dr. Evans is a trailblazer, and I'm really proud to welcome her here to Bloomfield College. In 2016, only one of every 20 college presidents was a woman of color in this country. I'm pleased to see that Bloomfield College is leading by example. Dr. Evans and Bloomfield College are both trailblazers and role models for young people of color across this country. Dr. Evans is a singularly accomplished professor and higher education administrator. She has been a leader at the University of Texas at San Antonio, and most recently at Our Lady of the Lake University System in San Antonio as well. Dr. Evans' career has focused on evidence-based practices that drive educational access and inclusivity. Bloomfield College students are gaining an insightful leader with a deep commitment to inclusive excellence. Dr. Evans, welcome to New Jersey, but more importantly, welcome to Bloomfield College.
Thank you. Wow, thank you, Congressman Payne, for that lovely introduction. Also, I want to extend my thanks to all the trustees, faculty, staff, and members of the press who have joined us today. For those of you whom I'm meeting for the first time, I'm Dr. Marcheta Evans, the 17th president of Bloomfield College. Wow, what an honor, privilege, and responsibility. Just saying the word president. You know, this is truly a village moment for so many people in my life. None of us get to where we get in our lives without the support of others, and you know who you are. But I specifically want to acknowledge my wonderful husband, Ed, who's joining me today. Thanks, honey, for being that light in my life. You said you wanted green. We got green, right? The Garden State. You couldn't get any more green than that. I'm not sure how many of you have had a chance to look at my vita, but you will note I've worked 25 years in higher education. 21 of those years have been at minority-serving institutions where the majority of my students have been students of color and are first generation. Those demographics are similar to the students that are here at Bloomfield College. As the only four-year private, predominantly black institution in New Jersey, as well as Hispanic-serving institution, Bloomfield is in a league of its own. And that is why I absolutely fell in love with the mission of the college and the student population. Bloomfield College is recognized nationally for its life-changing work with the population of young students here, young adults. 2 elite studies recently in the last 2 years have ranked the college among the best when it comes to social mobility of its graduates, meaning students who may have come in at a lower SES are now in middle and upper middle class a few years following graduation. Breaking this cycle of poverty is a very hard thing to accomplish. So please just take a moment and think about the positive effect it has not only on our alumni, but on their families as well. You really deserve a round of applause for that. I want to recognize our game design program, and I think our department chair, he's here, right there. Our game design program has been ranked as #1 in the state of the Princeton Review. Our highly respected Francis M. McLaughlin Division of Nursing boasts a 94% licensure exam pass rate. In addition, the program is consistently ranked within the top 10 best nursing programs in New Jersey. And I know some nursing faculty are here as well. Yes. Thank you for coming. Science and network engineering programs report 70% of their graduates are employed in the fields of study upon graduation. And that, being a mother of 6, you were talking about your triplets, and 5 of them are girls. Oh, you never end up stop paying. It's still shoes, cars, you know, whatever. For them to have a job at the point of graduation, that's phenomenal. Overall, our students graduate at a significantly higher rate than what is predicted based on their SAT scores and their high school GPAs. This is a testament to the fact that if given the best support structure that we have here at Bloomfield, our students can be and they are successful. More outstanding news notes that many of our graduates from all 7 of our academic divisions go on to receive full rides to graduate school. You know, when I look at our students, I see myself. I was raised by my grandparents in Alabama, specifically my grandmother, Annie Mae. Is that me? She might be talking to me right now. I was specifically raised by my grandmother, Annie Mae, who's the matriarch of our family. Growing up as a young kid in the 1960s, during the height of the civil rights movement, she instilled in me the importance of being an advocate for those seeking equality at all levels, but that explicitly included education. Education was seen as the key to make that equality happen in so many lives. I can hear her now saying, baby, once you get your education, no one can ever take that from you. They can take your house, your car, all your belongings, but they can never take away your education. That type of upbringing is core to the reason why I pursued the role of Bloomfield College president. I just know that if my grandmother were alive today, she would be smiling and so proud to see me on this campus as the first female, the first African American president of Bloomfield College. And if she was really here, she'd be yelling, "That's my baby!" You know, the stark reality is there's a lack of women and people of color serving as presidents of higher education institutions. Based on some data that Congressman Payne just mentioned, in 2017, the American Council did a study on national presidential demographics. Only 5% of all university presidents are women of color. We are the most underrepresented group serving in this role. It has been my mission to be a role model to demonstrate that if someone coming from my background can reach this level of service, anyone that puts their minds to it can strive to achieve certain goals in their lives, and I want to be that role model for our students. You know, embedded within the mission of Bloomfield College are the mandates to provide access and to present opportunities that will better the lives of those who have been historically excluded from such chances. And that is what we will continue to accomplish at Bloomfield College. Officially, this is the beginning of my 3rd week into my tenure as president, and I'm filled with excitement when I think of the college's future. There are so many dedicated faculty, staff, board of trustees members, alumni members, community members out there that are supporting the mission. Thank you. We will need you as far as moving forward in the future. Our job right now is to work on developing our college priorities, developing and formulating a strategic plan, and moving forward as expeditiously as possible so we can reach our goals and continue serving the amazing students of Bloomfield College. I want to thank you all again for coming this morning and spending time with us. If the press or any of you have any questions, the floor is now open. Thank you. I told someone earlier, this is not like class. You can ask the question. You can come up front. Any questions? I should have planted a couple. Come on, Gerald, I know you got one.
Marcheta, why don't you talk about, now you're here a while, what's your biggest challenge?
Right now, as of this morning, 8 o'clock, talking to Bill McDonald finances. Really, as far as large challenges, learning to tell our story to the community, establishing those priorities, making sure we're all on board as far as the vision, working with the college transparency so people feel as if their voices matter and are invested in what we're doing. You know, I'm excited about being the president. We were at a reception on Thursday night, and one of the trustees mentioned, well, you're the leader now. You're going to lead us into where we need to go next as the president. And you want your president to be a leader. But part of my leadership style is collaboration. That whatever direction we're going in is a direction we have established together. So you will never be saying, well, Marcheta's doing this. Well, no, it's we are doing this. And that's the expectation. So when it succeeds, we all get the credit for it. And when it doesn't maybe go the way we want it to, this is, well, we decided on this, but we can pivot and go in another direction if we need to. So. Yes.
So you've had some time on the campus and been interacting with students. Can you speak to the type of relationship that you look to forge with the student body?
Most definitely. So having had a lot of interaction with students, just a few because most of them are gone since we came in June 1 after graduation. But some of you may have known that I stayed in the dorms when I came for my visit the last time. And that was probably one of the best things I could do to give me a little bit more street cred, I'll call it, with the students. If they figured I would sleep in the dorm with them. Now, the first night, where's Pat? I thought I was going to break up a fight, but But I had dinner with the students and lunch with the students, and it was so wonderful that they decided to take me on a personal tour, their tour of the campus, to let me know what kind of work we needed to do and all the great and wonderful things that were going on campus. So it was both. Part of my doctoral degree is in student affairs. And I will tell you, my passion is student affairs. I love being in there. I still was teaching at Our Lady of the Lake, even though I was an administrator. I co-taught because I love working with students. But when I started looking at academic affairs, so usually there's two wings as far as higher ed. You have student affairs over here and you have academic affairs. And sometimes they don't meet like they should. We developed the provost model where we're not in silos as much anymore and we have to talk to each other. When I started going in administration, they call it the dark side. As far as higher ed, it's you going to the dark side? I'm like, please, let's change that language. But student affairs and working with the students, I'll be up. We had breakfast at midnight. We call it breakfast midnight before the final exam, serving bacon. I was eating probably more than bacon than I was serving, but I was still serving bacon. But just being there engaged with them, I've gone on bus trips to New Orleans and Birmingham and Memphis on that little seat. The older I'm getting, the smaller the seats get. But that's what I do. The students are the reason why we're here. Their success. I always say that's number one. But right up under that is faculty and staff. I also have an HR background, and a happy employee is a productive employee. So what can we do? Again, we may not be able to pay you the salary you would get somewhere else, but this environment, this culture, the work that we're doing, the special mission, all of us have to embrace it. One thing I will tell you, just full disclosure, it's called informed consent in counseling. I do not tolerate students being mistreated. I have high expectations of our students. I expect high quality. But I expect you to understand the demographics of the students that we have, the first generation, but just because they're first generation, a lot of times people use that as a deficit. I think it's a strength in some cases. And we as faculty and staff and community and board of trustees members have to understand that and make sure we have the services available because these students can be successful and they have been successful. So I'm right there with them. Sometimes they probably don't like it that I know their name because I check up on them. I tell them sometimes, your mama's not here, but I'm here. So I got you. And they understand that. So, yes?
You have 2 minutes to tell Congressman Payne what the highest priority is from the elected representative side, whether it's the federal or the state. What do you think that would be?
Really understanding the special mission that Bloomfield College has here in the state of New Jersey and beyond. We are the only predominantly black institution. And sometimes being that PBI versus an HBCU is not given the recognition that it should and the funding that it should. But our students need that support. They need to be valued. They need to see our congressman working and pushing for them for that funding. And so I'm going to learn more of how to tell this story of Bloomfield College so that we can impact not only you but others to see just the great reward of a student coming here. Not everybody can go to Princeton or Rutgers, and I'm learning some of the other schools here in New Jersey, but Bloomfield College is such a blessed place for our students. So.
How do you see the role of student athletes on campus?
Oh my goodness. So I think I played every sport imaginable that I could play. And my husband is a really strong athletic supporter as well. I have bad knees with no cartilage in them right now from playing everything from baseball to whatever. Athletics on all the campuses that I've been on before, believe it or not, the athletes had the higher GPAs when you combined all the sports together. We had the higher retention rate with the athletes as well. Because again, I think that team environment, that's a part of that and the expectation that you have to get your studies to be eligible. I know you're the liaison, I believe, with the NCAA. And so again, making sure they have the support structures in place. Being on a team, there's nothing like it when you learn how to function as an effective team, as a winning team. But one of the things though, besides winning, I want them to win at life too. I used to play basketball against my little nephews, and they say, Aunt Marcheta, why do you always have to win? I said, because eventually I'm going to be too old and you're going to beat me, right? But in the meantime, I'm going to beat you down because you're a little boy. But having said that too, athletics is critical. It brings people in that even are not athletes, but are supporters of. It gives a sense of community as well when our teams are winning and going out to other institutions that we can go in a pack. You know, I told Sheila I'm gonna be good. I won't get thrown out of a game as the president. That wouldn't look good. Where's the news people? Anyway, that wouldn't look good. But you have a complete fan in me. So.
Excited about esports?
Oh, you know, I'm learning. I'm an old Galaga person. I don't know if you remember, anybody remember Galaga back in the day? That's what we played, right? So, but I have grandsons, and so they try to, you know, help me with the esports. I'm learning. I need to learn more about that. But I have pretty good eye-hand coordination if that's what's involved in it. So, you know, just give me a minute. But you know what? I will tell you, and I know you probably heard this many times since my appointment, about being the first female, about being the first African American. And I'm gonna try to say this without getting teary because I am a crybaby. But the pride, the hope, just the overall feeling you get when you have those moments, when people see you, and it really comes across every race, ethnicity, gender, when you make those connections, there's nothing like it in the whole wide world. And when I say I didn't get here by myself, I'm not just saying that just to say it. There have been so many people that have uplifted, that have carried, that have dragged me sometimes to get me to this moment. And when I have those encounters and we start talking about Bloomfield, and I keep telling people, like I told some of the faculty and staff, was it last week, about wishing me luck? I'm like, I need more than luck. Need money, need a lot of different things, need bodies. You know, I was in an interview just a while before this, and they said, what do you think are the greatest assets of Bloomfield? I always say the people, the students. You are the ones that, again, get us out there. Our students being successful, that's so critically important. Again, as a mother of 6, can they get a job with good insurance? Those are the goals, right? When they graduate, can they get a job, hopefully in their field, but make sure you have insurance. I have one daughter who's still playing rugby. She's getting too old for that. But, you know, that's what we want them to make sure that they're successful. So, okay, one more? Yes.
Dr. Evans, do you plan to continue teaching while you're here?
I'm hoping so. My background is in counseling, counselor education and supervision. That's usually at the graduate level. But I have been teaching recently the freshman seminar class. To the athletes, by the way, whoever asked that question, at 8 o'clock in the morning. So usually they were coming, I'm a morning person, and sometimes I'm too cheery for them. But I don't know, with my schedule being as busy as I'm hoping it will be, getting out there, maybe I can co-teach. And or come and visit and do some drop-ins as well with faculty invitations, of course.
We welcome it. Visiting is wonderful for our first year.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. Well, thank you again. I'm getting the cut.